Welcome to La Taverna Friuli Wines, the definitive podcast on wines from Friuli, Venezia Giulia. I'm your host, Wayne Young. Hi everyone, welcome to the room. Hi Paul, welcome to La Taverna Friuli Wines. We got some people in here. Jason, Paul, Sue. Hi, Sue. Welcome back. Rosella, welcome back. Lots of people here who have been in the room before. Jason Carlin, wow, I haven't seen you since Chicago. I am super happy to see you here, Jason. Big honor for me to have you here at La Taverna. Paul, welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. So really thanks everybody for coming here. We're going to get things started right away. As usual, as you could hear at the top of the show, my lovely and talented co-host, Natalie Benlolo, is here. Nat, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm very happy that we have women of wine in the house tonight, Wayne.
Yes, I am really happy too.
Women of wine.
We need more women. We need more female voices, that's
Absolutely.
for sure. We need more female perspectives. So I am really happy to have them here. You were always the rose amongst the thorns. Here on La Taverna, and now me and Robbie, we are the thorn amongst the roses.
You are indeed. We have two roses here,
exactly,
along with the rose. So.
Exactly. So, welcome. Thank you very much for being here, Lorena Petrussa from the Petrussa Winery in Prepotto, and your daughter Beatrice is also here. So, welcome. Thank you guys for being here this evening. Thanks everybody for listening in. So,
ciao everybody. Ciao a tutti.
Lorena is, I think you're going to be the main speaker tonight.
We will try.
I hope, Beatrice, don't be too shy. Jump in.
Okay, no problem.
There she is. She spoke. All right. No, really, I'm really happy that you guys decided to come tonight. The weather is terrible, but you've made it all the way out here to the Taverna studio, so thanks for coming. Nat, you always jump in if you got a question, right?
Absolutely. Ready to go.
I do want to let Lorena sort of introduce us to the winery. So the Petrussa Winery is in Prepotto. Exactly. So tell us a little bit about, the winery itself, and then I'll ask you about your involvement as well in the winery.
Petrussa Winery is a small reality. The state is in Prepotto, Albana. We talk about 11 hectares and a half. So if we talk about bottles, 50,000 bottles. The production is, of course, between white and red, and of course, international and indigenous varieties. This is a family business, as we said. Actually, Gianni and Paolo are the two owners. Gianni is my husband, Paolo is the brother-in-law, and Beatrice's father.
Okay, now see, I'm glad you told me that.
She's like the oldest daughter for me. Don't worry.
But no, I thought you were Paolo's wife.
I'm Gianni's wife.
Ah, okay.
He's my brother-in-law.
He's your brother-in-law.
He's the best brother-in-law.
He and I have like running jokes because he loves it when I speak Friulano. Whenever we see each other at a fair, he always comes up to me and he says, "Gemut," and I have to, and I say, "Ciao de ma flappe." So. But yeah, he laughs harder than you guys. He thinks that's very, very funny. So you're married to Gianni. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And this is Gianni's daughter. This is your daughter, Beatrice.
She is Paolo's daughter.
Now see, you've really confused me now.
It's your niece.
The big family.
Yeah, so this is your niece.
So she's my niece.
Gianni's wife and Paolo's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really the winery is known as Petrussa di Gianni e Paolo.
Corretto.
just to be not confuse it
Yes.
with another winery that's called Vigna Petrussa.
That is Vigna Petrussa of Hilde Petrussa, not so
Exactly.
far from us. It will be maybe 100 meters far from us.
Are you related?
Oh, maybe in the past,
Distantly.
Petrussa was a very popular surname, so maybe in the past.
Okay.
But we are good neighbors and good cooperation, of course, between the two realities. But talking about the big Petrussa family, we live all in the same big buildings, so we are a family that works together. Consider that we are all really close, and we are all working in Petrussa business.
Okay.
So, Gianni is more involved in the vineyards, Paolo in the cellar. My
Okay.
sister-in-law, Antonella, she is, of course, in the office, checking, controlling all bureaucracy, banks, and so on. And about me, I'm involved in the marketing, and we used to follow also the market and the selling by ourselves. So what I used to do is also traveling around the world in order to promote the wine and the terroir, that is really important for us.
Okay.
Now the fourth generation is growing. So Beatrice, she's the oldest, and we really hope in having their support. And Beatrice, she's studying also enology in Udine. Next year she will be graduated, and so she will be another new step in the winery, of course.
Okay. Beatrice, do you want to talk a little bit about enology
Yes.
school and your have you been sort of working in the cellar already?
Yes,
Okay.
for the past few years. Now I'm studying enology at the University of Udine, and I'm working for the thesis about Schioppettino.
Oh, okay. Obviously, yeah. What are
Yes.
you gonna do? Riesling? No, obviously not.
No, and I prefer to work in the vineyard than to the cellar. But since we are a family business, I work also in the cellar, and thanks to my aunt, I traveled a lot. For example, in the United States.
Yeah, tell about the Miami trip.
Oh, do we have a
2 years
a marketing
ago,
disaster story?
No, we made a trip together in Miami.
Oh, you went together.
2
We
years
went
ago,
together.
we went to Miami and New York and Colorado. It was a
Fantastic.
beautiful
How
trip.
long
Yes.
did that take?
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah, but it was funny since after, I think it was the second day in Miami, and after some restaurants, she told me, Zia, I will stay every day in the vineyards. I don't want to travel around since.
You didn't enjoy that experience.
No, she had to
Yes,
eat too much.
But I prefer the work in the vineyard with the nature. I think it's the best for me. Also, it's important this part of the work. So see the client and travel.
Can I ask you, sorry to interrupt, Beatrice, does that mean that you prefer working on your own in the vineyards, or less than working directly with people and talking a lot, or is it just because of the nature?
I think because I'm extremely connected with the nature for this reason. Yeah.
Okay, interesting, good.
So, enology is both work in the cellar and work in.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. So, because in my experience, when I did my time, I hated working in the vineyards. I was like, I would rather do 16 hours in the cellar and rather than do like 8 hours of working outside, because it was just terrible, except for some types of work. But yeah, I like to be close to the bathroom. So, whereas outside, if you got to go, it turns
City
into a bit of a
people.
problem. Yeah, I'm a
City
city. I'm a
people. We're
city. You can
city
take the
people.
boy out of the city, but you can't.
He's
take
not a
the city out of the
countryman. He's not a
No,
countryman. Not at all.
not at all. So, 11 hectares of vineyards, you said,
Si.
right? And then, and 50,000 bottles.
Yes, more or less.
How
50,000
much
bottles.
how much of that is red and white? How much is
But
Schioppettino?
we can say that 50% is still whites.
Really?
Yeah. Since, we start, the label, we start doing Petrussa, Gianni and Paolo 30 years ago.
30?
And
Okay.
of course, selling and promoting indigenous variety 30 years ago was really tough. And of course, you need Merlot, you need Sauvignon, Pinot Blanc, international varieties to promote the wine around the world. So they really working on the international varieties and promoting and selling the international varieties give us the chance to exit also with and to promote the indigenous variety like the Schioppettino, that for us is the flag wine.
Flagship,
Absolutely.
of course.
Absolutely. Actually, about Schioppettino, we have an hectare and a half, but we made, for us, is a new challenge. So we plant a new hectare and a half, and it will be one of the highest vineyards of Friuli, about 320 meters above the sea. Yeah.
Where is this?
It's called Priskis, it's above Prepotto.
Oh, okay.
From Albana, it will be 4 kilometers. On the way to, we can say on the way to Castelmonte. You know, Castelmonte makes part of Prepotto.
Yes.
So in that way, so pretty high. So it will be really a new challenge. Interesting also to see how really the development of the Schioppettino will be over there.
I don't think anybody else is growing Schioppettino that high.
No, we are the highest.
You're the highest.
Yeah.
Very
so we will
interesting.
See, we will see. Yeah.
When was this planted?
It was planted 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And actually, the deers are really, they really like a lot the grapes. And
they have good taste.
They consider, it's a high quality taste.
Interesting.
The deer meat must be very tasty.
Yes.
If you get
Nice. Nice.
And now we will see, since, Schioppettino for Petrussa means really, is really the most important of our wines. We are focused on the terroir. And as you well know, Schioppettino di Prepotto can really give you the chance to promote your terroir, your village. And starting also 3 years ago, we are working on the cru of the varieties. So especially with the Schioppettino, we want to promote and we want that people understand how really the wine can change if you produce the wine from different vineyards, doing the same vinification, but the soil is different and you will have a different wine. So it's really interesting for us that people understand what really Prepotto can give you, all the different opportunities and the really experiences that you can have drinking the same varieties, but produced from different fields, from different vineyards.
Different vineyards.
Yeah.
Well,
Really
we're drinking the first single vineyard Schioppettino that you've made.
Yes. Tonight we are here with the Sant'Elena, that is the cru produced from the vineyard by the river Udrio.
Okay.
Albana, that is this neighbor of Prepotto, is really by the river Udrio. And the vineyards over there are really peculiar, since you can see a soil that is rich of sand, of small stones.
Sand?
Interesting.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And so also the plant get all the minerality and the peculiarity really from this soil. So you will have, especially in the Schioppettino, a very strong and powerful wine, very, very spicy. But comparing to the other one, is really with something more. It's really much more stressed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really interesting.
It's stressing the vine more.
Yeah.
Because I have heard about Prepotto, because one of the big features of Prepotto is the fact that you do have the Udrio River that runs through the middle of Prepotto. And the proximity of vineyards to that river changes things a lot. And I always thought that had more to do with temperature than it had to do with soil. But you're saying that there are even big soil differences as you go closer to the river.
And the situation for Prepotto is a mix of soil, but also of climate. Prepotto is one of the villages where you have more rain. Also, the temperature that change between night and day are all items that really make a different. I don't want to say the best wine, absolutely no, but it's a different wine that really can give you some peculiarities, if you can say, that are totally different from the Schioppettino produced in other places. I don't want to say the best, different. And it is really important. But again, from Friuli, you can have so small, different production. And then, of course, the philosophy of the producer. But again, what Petrussa want to do is really to stress out what is terroir.
Okay.
And Prepotto have a very interesting and high quality soil.
Yeah, we've had producers on from Prepotto before, obviously. We had Spolert on. That's a different area completely.
different.
Further south, higher up.
Sì.
You know, you are right in the center of the town of Prepotto.
Yeah, a little
more
bit
or less.
uptown.
A little bit uptown. Okay. Okay.
But different totally from the soil of Spolert.
Spolert, yeah. And different from Ronchi di Cialla, which is another valley over. Yeah. So, so what are there going to be other single vineyard Schioppettino that come out from, is this just the first or this will be the only one?
This is the first. For sure, we will do another one from Briscris, but with crossing fingers, we hope starting next year.
The deer don't eat all the grapes.
Yeah, of course. And then we will see. But maybe 3 is enough.
Maybe 3 is enough. So you'd have like your Schioppettino.
Schioppettino di Prepotto.
Okay, then
that is
Briscis.
the blend of 2 different, now it's 3 different vineyards.
Okay.
Schioppettino Sant'Elena, that is from Udio River, and the Briscis.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's interesting also since, you have to introduce the wine, but it is also still an not so well unknown wine, and also talk about cru. That is also another challenge for us, but we trust in it. We trust in this wine, absolutely.
I need help.
Go ahead, Nat.
Cru.
Go on.
What is it? CRU?
Yes.
Okay, this is a new term. I've written it down, thinking maybe I missed something, but what do you mean by cru? I'm learning. So what does cru mean?
Cru means when you have different vineyards, okay? But you produce one wine from just one parcel, one vineyard. You don't blend all together.
Okay.
So you have 3 different vineyards, and you produce the wine from each single vineyard.
So
don't blending the wine together.
Right. So each label is from that vineyard, and that's it.
Yeah. In this case, the label is the same. We just says written Sant'Elena. Okay. But that means that the wine produced is just from that single vineyard.
Just doing a quick look up on Google, Nat, it says that a vineyard or a group of vineyards, especially one of recognized superior quality.
Wow, interesting.
So some of the more learned sommeliers in the audience here can correct me, but doesn't cru mean growth as well? Like Premier Cru would be first growth, I believe, would be the first. Somebody maybe in the audience, Jason or Paul, those of you who are more versed in French may be able to correct my French pronunciation and also the exact meaning of cru. Cru, yeah.
Cru.
Yeah, I don't speak French, so you would be better at that than I would.
I can just say it.
Yeah.
I still need help
But
understanding.
anyway, so yeah, it's a specific vineyard site. So then the idea is to sort of bring these 3 different skills. But you were talking a little bit about the soils before. What's the difference between the soil of Sant'Elena, which you said close to the river, sandy and a little bit pebbly? Is that what you were? Yeah.
See.
So the other Schioppettino, what kind of vineyards do they have?
While the other Schioppettino, the soil is rich of clay.
Okay.
Okay, so the land is much more wet also during this time. Also, we will talk also later about how the Schioppettino during the harvesting is we are producing Schioppettino for 30 years, so we have to learn a lot about this wine, about working in the vineyards and also about working in the cellar. It's not such a easy wine to work. So it's a wine that produces a lot, so you have to reduce the quantity in order to have a good percentage of grapes. But you also have to be very careful when you work in the cellar, checking and controlling how is the development of the maceration and also controlling the tannin. And of course, you have the best season for this wine when you have the worst time, when you have the wind, when you have the rain. So it's really a peculiar and unique variety.
Why is that? Can you explain why that is? So the grape does best in bad years.
Maybe, especially when 2014 was one of the worst seasons we have never had. We didn't produce a Merlot, but it was too much rain. It was a Spritz, not a Merlot. But the Schioppettino was really a bomb. It was so spicy. Really, I remember when we were harvesting, you have to clean bunch by bunch for all the small red vinegar
berries, yeah.
berries, thank you. And it was really tough. But also when it was macerated, you can really feel and taste also the pepper. But it's maybe a mix of the climate that really stress out.
The climate. You mean like the weather changing? And
yeah, but really stress out the aroma of this wine. And of course, also the soil really help it. And when you have sand, when the soil is rich of minerality, it really gives also to the wine this red cherry, with red fruits note. But it's also very important for us, since also wines, especially from Prepotto area, it's really peculiar for the acidity. But it's also really important for the red wines having a good acidity. That also in our soil you can get it.
Is there a risk of Schioppettino being a little bit low in acidity? Is that one of the problems with Schioppettino as a grape variety?
It could be, but in our area, we usually have this good chance also for the red, high acidity, but it's really a great chance for also the red.
I have a question. You travel and your wine sells overseas. How did that begin? How did you break out? How did you break out of Italy? I mean, Friuli is the first question, because obviously the wines here, producers tend to be medium to small, the production is low, and that's, I understand from Sensei Wayne here, that's one of the reasons that exporting the wines is sometimes difficult, getting them well known overseas, right? Because they don't produce enough. How did you get out, and where did you get to?
The idea was always to sell the wine all around the world. So to produce not so many bottles, but trying to do a wine that could really reflect Prepotto, the Friuli, and really to promote the wine all around the world. We love traveling. We love tasting new cuisine, meeting new people, and we have this chance using our wines, traveling and promoting the wine, selling the wines around the world. So we start doing exhibition, fairs, and of course, knowing people who taste the wine and trust in your wines. And again, of course, you start with the international varieties. But of course, I can tell you that the Sauvignon and the Merlot was easy to sell. But Schioppettino, especially in the US market,
exactly.
It was also difficult to pronounce, so not easy. But 20 years ago, we start pushing, when you start to ship the wines, we ask, at least 2 cases of Schioppettino, try. And of course, going there, traveling there, visiting customers, and every year, not only in the US, but also in Asia, in Japan, in Vietnam, we start doing. And actually, we can say that more than 50% of the production is sold around the world.
Wow.
And we are proud of it, absolutely.
Oh, you have to be, absolutely.
We found the right people who trust in you. We don't have big importers. We have small importers that love their work. We have, they are importers, but also friends. Now we have a good cooperation in Colorado. One is Stelvio Selection. Mm-hmm. Craig Lewis is a young guy, but he makes part of the family now. Then we can talk also about Bobby Stacchi. What he did about Friuli, an amazing job. Sometimes he knows more than us about what you can do in Friuli. And he did such a great job for the wine, for the food, for Friuli.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
The first person who brought Bobby Stuckey around
Who was?
was me.
Grande.
Talk to me about Bobby.
Bobby Stuckey is a restaurateur and a master sommelier in Boulder, Colorado. Has a restaurant called Frasca Food and Wine.
Wow.
And he is like the champion of Friuli and wines in the United States. And I remember getting a call from Walter Scarborough, Mattia's father, saying, Wayne, I got this American guy here and I'm super busy in the cellar. Can you like come and entertain him and speak English to him and show him around? So like we went around Udine and all this sort of stuff. And I met him, it was like 20 years ago. I think it was almost 20 years ago. So yeah, so him, Lachlan, and his wife. So I met them a long time ago. So yeah, Bobby is a super guy. And super knowledgeable. Before we go on with anything, I wanted to invite Heather's up on stage with me, but I also wanted to invite everybody else. I've invited everyone on stage. Some people have taken me up on the offer. Some people have not. But I do want to give a chance to our listeners here on Clubhouse to give some input or to ask a question. Heather's on stage. Anybody else? Sheila, Christopher, Chiara, Yarno. If you have any questions, raise your hand. I will bring you up on stage. Heather, did you have any questions for Lorena?
Hey, thanks.
Hi, Heather. How are you? Good to see you as always.
I'm glad to be here. I didn't think I was going to make it. I'm getting ready to go out of town, so I was scrambling. I'm like, oh. I have a question. I have some. Well, I think it's a different vineyard though. It's a Vigna Petrussa.
Yeah, that's the one we were talking about down the street.
Okay, it's just down the street. Okay, because I haven't been able to find any from just plain Petrussa yet. Over here in.
You make Friulano,
like
right? Right, Lorena? Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Because Heather is embarking on a really interesting project. She's been a regular listener and contributor to the Clubhouse, and she's basically doing a blog where she tastes all Friulano. She tastes all these different Friulano tokais. So you should definitely check that out. And yeah, we can try and figure out a way to get your wines over to her.
Oh yeah, we do Friulano and we love Friulano.
Yeah, who doesn't? Heather's the biggest Friulano lover that there is. She's devoted her life to it. She's devoted her life to flowers. If you've ever seen her Instagram is full of beautiful flowers and Friulano. So yeah, the two beautiful things that she knows what she's talking about.
That's good.
But yeah, Sheila has come up on stage. Sheila, did you have a question for Lorena?
Ciao.
I do, but I just want to say hi to everybody. And
hi, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Ciao.
Ciao. I know you, Wayne. I know you from I guess from the Merano wine festivals.
Okay. I meet a lot of people there, so forgive me if I don't remember you in particular.
Yeah, that's fine. We met before I started to become an importer of I focus on small production, artisanally made estate wineries.
Cool. Where are you located, Sheila?
In the U.S., in California.
Okay. And remind me of your last name if you don't mind doing that on the air.
Sure, Sheila Donahue.
Donahue. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at your face and remember you, but anyway, sorry that I don't remember you.
You have the advantage because I remember you.
Yeah. Everybody remembers me, unfortunately.
But a couple years after we met, and I was just starting my import business, I met Francesca Mecchia at a Milan networking event, and she's like, "Oh, you have to try my mom's wines." And that was Hilde Petrussa.
Okay.
So then we they came to the U.S. 2 years ago, and I started importing their wines.
Good.
So we sell. Our model for my company Vero is we basically sell to everyone and anyone who's interested in small production wines, and we sell to direct to trade, and we also sell online, and we seek distributors, like you mentioned, Georgia. We're looking for a distributor in Georgia and stuff like that. But
very cool.
Anyway, that was just a little intro.
Well, have you visited
really excited about this
Prepotto, Sheila?
Sorry?
Have you visited Prepotto?
I did. I went.
You did?
Yes.
You didn't come and say hi to me.
August. I went last August for their annual dinner at the bridge, but it was raining, so we didn't get to. They canceled it.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh yeah, they have the tasting on the bridge of Prepotto, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys participate in that?
No,
you don't. Okay. You decided not to, but that's okay. But Sheila, thanks for coming up. Really interesting I'm going to look you up on social media and we'll connect there. And I'd love to know more about your import company. Sounds very interesting.
Sure, yeah.
If you come back to Friuli, you got to look me up.
And keep promoting.
Keep promoting
Prepotto.
Schioppettino
Yeah,
and
Prepotto.
Yeah.
May I?
That's what actually, I know technically we're supposed to ask questions during these Clubhouse talks. So, but I do have kind of I do have a question, which actually is, some suggestions on promoting Schioppettino and helping to explain to not only people in the trade, but to consumers, what it is. I have a couple of my own sort of experiences, and I would like to hear what you have.
That is a really good question, Sheila. I like that question.
It's a very unique wine. It's a very elegant, sophisticated wine. So it really, again, reflects our terroir. So it's a sort of a Pinot Nero, but coming from Friuli. So indigenous, autochthonous, as we used to say. And you know what? Suggest every time people to drink old vintages. Absolutely. If you find old bottles, it's really a treasure. So tasting and drinking old vintages, also of last century, 1998, 99, there are good producers like Ronchi di Cialla. They do really great old vintages. And this is a good suggestion. Vigna Petrussa as well. She also have old vintages that are really interesting. So people has really to start to learn to taste old vintages, and they will have a totally different experience. So it's a Pinot Nero. It's the Pinot Nero from Friuli. And it's really something unique. The spicy, the pepper, but it's really peculiar. It's a unique wine. And again, Friuli, so a small production, high quality, and not so popular, but a really peculiar, high-quality wine.
Sorry, the word's not so popular. I'm wondering if not so popular is just about access to the people. Because if you go, I'm from London, I'm from a big city as well, and you go into any bar and any pub, and everybody's got Pinot Grigio, Pinot Grigio blush, they call it, like a rosé, which you pay sort of £7.50, which is like €10 for a glass like this, and 99% of the time, it's not very nice. It's okay, it's drinkable, especially when they give you, But I wonder if, when you say not very popular, it's only because people don't know it yet.
Yes, the production is just few bottles. I think that in total there would be, I don't know, maybe how many bottles of Schioppettino maybe we can have.
That's a question for Matteo Bellotto.
Yeah, but not so much.
Beatrice, would you know that number, or do you not?
No, I don't know.
If we consider Ronchi di Cialla is one of the biggest, and he produces 50,000 bottles per year. We produce almost 9,000, but I think that
9,000 bottles
of Schioppettino.
Just Schioppettino.
But your total is 50,000 as well,
correct.
right?
So we don't have the numbers. So I think that mostly, if we consider all the Schioppettino, mostly will be sold maybe in Italy. I don't think that so many
it's always
production is sold
it's
abroad.
always going to be a niche wine. It's going to be one of those little jewels, those little gems that people sort of seek out.
And if you think also, just in the last maybe 10 years, people are more focused on indigenous varieties.
Yeah.
20 years ago, talking about Schioppettino or Pignolo or Ribolla Gialla was not so well considered. They were more focused on the Pinot Grigio, as you said, or Sauvignon, or something very easy to drink and very easy to sell. Now, of course, people are boring maybe, and they are looking for something more interesting, new, unknown.
Yeah.
And the culture change also.
What
the
about
wine.
you, Beatrice? What would you sort of suggest to Sheila as far as marketing, promoting, telling people about Schioppettino? Would you suggest anything in particular other than what Lorena said? What your aunt
To
just
promote
said?
the wine.
Yeah, to describe it, because she was saying that she has, trying to describe it to her customers to sort of market it to them. Any sort of tips that you would give to her?
I don't know. Like my aunt said, it's a gem. So it's a unique wine, and we need to promote it. And for this reason, we need to go around the world. And it's an important work, like the work with the grapevine in the cellar. So I think that the problem is that is not so common to find, and also the name, because when we went to America, someone said Schioppettino, not Schioppettino, so it's not easy to say, and
Right.
it's another problem of the wine.
Okay. Sheila, does that sort of answer? Did that help you at all? Sheila, I put you on mute. There you
Yeah,
go.
sorry. No, definitely. I think it's good to brainstorm and get, ideas and perspectives. I'd like to give some, input as well. And that's actually right before COVID hit. I was with Hilde and a sommelier that's based in New York that was tasting her Schioppettino, and he this sommelier is really really excited about Schioppettino in terms of its potential, and he let's say compared it to a like a Rhone red, kind of in terms of the general quality and sensations that you get from it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true, because there is sort of a connection through the rotundone, right, which is that compound inside of Schioppettino that makes it taste peppery, that connects it to Syrah.
Wow.
Is that right, Lorena? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sheila, that's absolutely a correct sort of connection to make there. I think maybe Rhone wines can be a little bit more full-bodied, except for sort of the more elegant styles of Rhone wines. But I think definitely, that connection of that pepperiness and that spiciness is something that ties Schioppettino and the Rhone Valley together.
Hi, Sheila. It's Natalie here.
Hello.
Hi. I'm just thinking, I'm not a producer. I'm learning all the time, but it's interesting you ask about something like marketing. I mean, as somebody that likes and appreciates Schioppettino, I think there's, as you do, so much scope and space to introduce it to people, wine lovers. Of course, all shapes and sizes of wine lovers, not just the professional sommeliers, but people who are not necessarily professional, but really, really enjoy a nice glass of wine. Again, what I was saying before, they just don't know it yet. I think that the fact that it's peppery and spicy and is something unusual, no, compared to, it's not something
More or
you
less,
normally
yeah.
associate with.
No.
Like important French wines wouldn't be described as spicy.
Well, apart from Syrah, but yeah, absolutely.
I think there's lots of space, lots of scope. Good luck.
Cool. Yeah,
We're here.
Yeah, go out there and fight the good fight, Sheila, because we definitely want to get more Schioppettino out there. Yeah, but that's the big problem, Nat. There aren't a lot of bottles out there. There's billions of bottles of Pinot Grigio out there, but there are so few bottles of Schioppettino.
Yeah.
I know lots of people that if they tried it, they'd be like, wow.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
no.
But how easy would it be for them to find it? They won't be able to sort of go, I love Schioppettino, and they go to the supermarket and they said, you have Schioppettino? And the supermarket will be like, what?
I mean, when we were at one of the shows that we did, I was in London and we had our Irish friend who did his book about Pignolo.
Right.
And I wanted to go and buy, again, native, unusual, small producers to taste it. I couldn't go anywhere
'cause there isn't
without
any.
spending £50,
Yeah.
which is €60.
There isn't any.
I couldn't. So it's about access as well and getting it out there, which is what your job is.
It's about access, but it's also about finding the right client. You know, it's a hand sell. It's not something that someone's going to ask for. You're going to need to find someone in the market who's going to say to you, hey,
which is what these ladies are doing.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
It's
you're,
not
you're
impossible,
doing it.
absolutely. Okay, it's hard, it's tough, but trust me, we are proud of what we are doing. It's our terroir.
And once
it's
people
Schioppettino
see,
di
they fall in love
Prepotto.
with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Schioppettino di Prepotto, so it's a sottozona. Since they recognize that the Schioppettino producing our area is different, it's more spicy. So we have a great chance with this wine, and people realize this. So
I just wanted to say that Lotta Scarborough and Paul Mabray, who just came up on stage, so I want to give Lotta a chance to ask a question if she's up here to ask a question. Lotta, did you have a question for Lorena or for Beatrice?
Yes, I do. Hi, ciao
Hi,
everyone.
Lotta.
Thanks, Wayne. Ciao, Wayne. Ciao, Natalie.
Ciao,
And
ciao.
ciao, Beatrice and Lorena. Nice to meet you.
Ciao.
at Clubhouse. I would love to come and visit you one day. And congrats on the work you do for our small little region. I have a question about Schioppettino, and we were talking about vintages a bit earlier on. And I was wondering, in your opinion, what could be like the top 3 vintages of Schioppettino of the last, let's say, 20 years? So the ones that are more memorable and more representative of this variety.
okay, talking about the last century, the 1998 was really an amazing vintage since, again, it was a very bad season. It rained all summer long. It was really very, very bad. And also the Udre River came out, so it was a disaster.
Oh, was
But,
there like a flood?
Sì,
Wow.
oh, really a mess. But really, till now, when we open, we do some vertical, the wine is still really so rich and spicy. And so
This is
thin.
1998?
1998.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm. And which other? Then we have had also some very hot and warm season, like 2003. It was really, really so hot. It was really very, very hot season. And tasting now, 2003, you have different character. You don't feel so the spice is so strong, of course. You feel maybe more alcohol, but the acidity is still pretty high, so it's still very interesting vintage. And of course also the 2014, that was really again a very bad season. And just when the wine was during the maceration, you can really feel the pepper so strong and so power. So the most critical years, like the 98 or 2014, are still now the more interesting, of course, where the characteristics of the wine are really so strong and powerful. But also when you have well-balanced vintages, like was the 17 for the Schioppettino, and also they think, also maybe this year will be interesting vintage, are always well-balanced wine. Of course, much more stress is the plant, much more stress is the season, more interesting is the wine. So when it was funny, since also, especially in the US market, when we were promoting that 14, they used to say, no, 14 from Friuli, nothing, absolutely, no Schioppettino 14, since it will be really just a very simple and easy Schioppettino. But everyone then changed ideas, since really, again, it's a bomb.
I remember Paolo saying 2014 is going to be amazing.
Yeah, really.
This was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was going to be great.
Yeah, I agree on the 14 vintages. We are opening some bottles now, and they are showing everything that wasn't there a few years ago.
Yeah.
So the wine just shows how it can evolve in the bottle and find its own place in a way. Mm-hmm. And it's a vintage that we really are happy to have a few bottles in the warehouse, and I hope
keep them.
Yeah, exactly. We can share some if you'd like in the future.
See, why not? Come to Prepotto. Come
Exactly.
to Albana.
It just
will.
goes to show what a lot of, excuse the term, but bullshit it is when people sort of rate harvests, rate vintages, because they tend to rate very warm vintages much higher. So ripeness, lots of development, lots of maturity in the grapes. Whereas when you have cooler vintages, those are the ones that I think have a little more balance, but always seem to be the ones that age better.
Oh, yeah.
That always seem to last longer in the bottle. I very rarely found a 2003 that's lasted because there's so much heat and so much ripeness. So
Yeah.
Sorry, when you
there
say-
was sun. There was a lot of sun.
there's a lot of sun.
Yeah.
You just answered my question. That's fine.
What was your question?
Heat literally means literally hot weather. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no sort of secret kind of code going on.
And of course, the wine must reflect the vintages.
Nat, 2003 was so hot that I cut off all my hair. That's how hot 2003
Oh,
was.
that's the year I came to Friuli.
It was hot.
And I got married.
Oh my God, what a year.
Sweaty
we
wedding.
So we remember that vintage.
Did you get married in August or July?
July.
Oh my God. It must have been
Sweaty
horrible.
wedding.
Anyway. Paul Bologna. Sorry, I called you Paul Mabray before. I wanted to know if you had a question. Excuse me for mistaking the name. Paul, do you have a question for Lorena?
I do. Well, hello, everyone.
Ciao.
Hey.
I saw Sheila earlier. I bought wine from her. She definitely knows good wine. My question is, does Prepotto have a wine festival, or maybe Friuli in general? And what time of year is it, and what would I see when I would go to it? Because I want a beacon event to go to in Friuli to experience it.
I think that you can come in Friuli every time of the year, since for us, for all also my colleagues, it's always a pleasure to have people coming in the cellar, in the vineyards, in our villages, visiting us, tasting together the wines. And this is really what Friuli people want, that people come in our amazing region and see and taste together as our products. Udine used to do Udine Doc.
Friuli
Friuli
Doc.
Doc,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, you got to come to Friuli Doc.
That is a nice...
That's probably the biggest regional event that we do.
Yes.
And that's the beginning of September,
It's
right?
I think I had family from the States that were here 2 years ago, and they arrived when it was Friuli Doc. Friuli Doc will give you a taste of everything all at once. It can be incredibly mad and a lot of fun pre-COVID. Not Jack.
For sure. Yeah.
As Lorena quite rightly says, it really doesn't matter when you come. But I think Friuli Doc, September's a beautiful month, right? What do you think, Lorena?
Yes, it is, but also for visiting the cellar is amazing.
It's the time of year just before the
Harvest.
harvest.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice coming in Friuli, and I think it's a good also opportunity visiting the producer and tasting together the wines, talking about the Schioppettino, talking about the Friulano. And this is really something where we have to work on.
Is it true?
Friuli is a region that people really don't know. So we have so many things to see, to visit, to taste.
Just like Schioppettino, Friuli is an undiscovered gem.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
also to answer your question, or to refer to what your question.
Yeah.
In autumn time, in September and October, you've got the wine harvest, you've got truffles, you've got pumpkin, you've got game. So a lot of people say that autumn is one of the best times to visit Italy in general.
Too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, you don't want to come
Not
in
so
August because
crowded.
nobody's here.
Yeah, everyone's gone.
Everybody's gone to Sardinia. So nobody's in Friuli. Everybody's in Sardinia, or maybe Sicily or Croatia. But anyway, nobody's here. So don't come in August. It's too hot. Nobody's here. But is there, going back to Paul's question, is there a specific Prepotto event? If not, we
Sagra.
need to make one.
No.
Yeah, all right. There it is. There's
A
a mark.
sagra, una sagra.
We're going to do it, you and me.
Prepotto.
We're going to do like
We
the
have to
Prepotto.
organize. We have to arrange something.
A wine festival.
Send me the email.
Yeah, I'll put you on the list, Paul.
Paul,
You'll be the first one. Sheila, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I would recommend the dinner on the Prepotto Bridge. That
Oh, okay, yeah.
normally at the beginning of August.
Yeah. So, yes, that's definitely one of the things that goes Calice sotto le stelle.
Calice sotto le stelle.
Yeah. Okay. And they do a series of events all over.
Excuse me, Movimento Turismo del Vino,
Exactly.
Friuli Venezia Giulia.
Exactly.
Hello. You know, I represent these people in the different activities that I do, and it's all good stuff. It's all about promoting terroir,
Yeah.
local canteen, like wineries, etc.
So
I'm looking, wondering what's Lorena want to share with us.
no, but we're go ahead, Lorena. Go.
No, I was telling, but it's also nice that all the many sellers, they used to have also small B&B, so there is also the chance to sleep in Prepotto. So many of us have small rooms.
Do you guys have rooms?
We also have some rooms.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So there you go.
So it's a nice opportunity.
Wine tourism, guys, come and visit the cantinas,
Yeah.
taste the wine.
And you can go to Trieste.
It's true.
true.
There are so many things. So
My
different.
feeling is always this, that the big events like Friuli Doc, or let's get even bigger if we talk about Vinitaly,
Vinitaly.
right? Or you have Cantine Aperte.
Absolutely.
I haven't been to Cantine Aperte in 15 years.
Neither have I.
Why? Because I live here, right? And I know that I can go and visit Petrussa or whoever else I want anytime.
See, when you want.
Yeah.
But
it's
you
not like
relax.
the wineries are closed.
Relaxing.
But,
Yeah.
but Paul, I've got to say, as a foreigner visiting, which I'm not anymore, but I was in the beginning, something like Cantina Aperta is wonderful.
No, it's totally cool.
Because you get to go into these often beautiful spaces, beautiful homes where people offer you 2 or 3 glasses free. And then if you want more, you got to pay. Hopefully you walk away going, I'm going to buy wine from there. You walk away with bottles. But Cantina Aperta is a wonderful way to discover wines in Italy.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
That sounds incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, I hope
See you in Friuli.
we're looking forward to seeing
Call us
you
when
here.
you
Yeah.
come, Paul.
I'll be in Italy next week, but
Oh, hello.
Hit up Natalie. She'll tell you where to go. She'll tell you exactly where to go. She knows all the tips and tricks.
Absolutely. Seriously.
wonderful.
Okay, Paul. Well, have safe travels, and if you can make it up to Friuli, great.
Thank you.
No
Ciao.
problem. Thanks for your question. Really appreciate that. Any other questions from the audience? Anybody else want to raise their hand? Come on up. Got some new people here who I haven't seen before. Lots of some familiar faces here. But if you have a question for Lorena, please come on up and ask your question. So, we basically almost finished the bottle now of Santa Elena. Is this already on the market?
Yes, this is the 19.
The 19.
Yeah, and is already in the market. Consider that this is a wine that spent 2 years in oak.
Okay.
Really? Now, may I ask
Is
you?
large oak or barriques? Or
We use barrique,
You use
French
barrique.
barrique, light
New,
toasted
old?
barrique. In this case, for the two Riserva, we use a 40% of new barrique.
Okay.
And then we
40%
blend all together.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I, unfortunately, like half the world, got COVID, which means that my olfactory receptors have shifted, and sometimes I get strong smells, sometimes I don't. So it's affected my taste and stuff. I can still smell wine fairly well, which is interesting. However,
At least that.
I know. However, question: if this is 2 years in barrique, would I be right in saying that it doesn't taste typical? It tastes different. It
Doesn't taste oaky.
Thank you. Cool.
That's the word
I'm
you
with
want.
it. I'm on it. Good. Yes.
Does not taste oaky.
Thank you.
I'm not an oaky fan.
It means that Paolo did a good job.
I'm not an oaky fan.
And
That's
Beatrice.
amazing.
And
Also,
Beatrice.
yes.
of course.
Did you have a hand in making this, Beatrice? 2018? You must have.
Yes,
It's only
this
a couple
year,
of years.
It
yeah.
was,
Yes.
it was the first vintage, maybe, the 19.
Yes, the first was.
This was your first vintage.
Working
Yes.
This is
in the
18.
cellar.
Helping the
18 or
level.
19?
19.
This is 18.
Okay, so
The first.
This is the first one.
Yes.
Okay. So did you work on the 18, Beatrice?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So
So it's your fault.
the focus is not to obtain a wine that it smells so I don't know how to say oaky. So we use different barrels. We use oak French barrels that are new and also old barrels. For this reason, you don't smell
Taste
an
that
oaky wine.
typical, exactly.
Yeah. We don't want to impact the wine in this way.
Is Schioppettino a grape variety that you think needs time in oak? Yes.
Yes. In particular, Barrique, not Tonneau.
Okay. Why is that? What is it about Schioppettino that needs?
It's not a reason. The reason connected with the variety, but connected with the type of container. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, container.
Because Barrique is smaller than Tonneau, and for the focus that we want to obtain in Prepotto for the wine Schioppettino is the best. So we needed to use Barrique and not Tonneau.
Okay. Good. Fantastic. So did that sort of...
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's somebody else out there that's like, I'm pleased she asked that question.
There's always someone out there.
Barrique Tonneau. Give me Barrique Tonneau. So I'm
Beatrice, why don't you explain the difference between a Barrique and a Tonneau?
It's the size. Barrique is smaller than the Tonneau.
And Tonneau would be ton. Not quite.
Ton? No, I don't think. Maybe at one time it was a ton.
A ton?
But tonneau, I think is just it's a French word. Tonneau are 500 liters, right? And barriques are 225.
Yes, 225,
yeah.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Just
the
size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go into a cellar and you see those sort of typical smaller barrels, those are going to be barriques.
Like in Contadatimis, see. He's got the smaller ones
those
as well.
Those are barriques, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the difference. So the smaller the barrel, the more impact of the container.
Quality, not quantity.
Well, you know what they say in Italian, right?
No.
The good wine comes in the small barrels.
Well, they say in English that good things come in small
packages. Do you say that in Friulano as well?
Sì.
Yeah. Come si dice in Friulano? Il buon vino viene in
Nella botte piccola.
Nella botte piccola,
sì,
yeah.
ma non so
Oh, I thought maybe there was something in Friulano. Yeah.
In Friulano non saprei.
No, okay. Okay. Robbie probably knows. Robbie. Anyway. All right. This has been amazing. You guys have been our first women guests, and you have been spectacular. I would just want to say thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, really.
For coming here and talking about Schioppettino and talking about I really think this idea of making cru Schioppettino is an important idea. And I think it's something that other producers will probably follow suit.
Yeah. We trust in it, and we trust in our terroir.
We've also discovered that we need to make a Prepotto wine fair somewhere in Prepotto, obviously.
Sagra.
Sagra.
Schioppettino, Sagra di Schioppettino.
When I think of Sagra, I just think of like drunken Friulani eating
Sagra.
pork sandwiches.
I just did some research today about Sagre, and particularly Sagre in autumn. And I'm writing for an international audience. And actually, we live here. And so we have a particular way of looking at it, because you go to a Sagra and you're like, oh my God, shh, because people are shouting. But we forget that when you visit a place, that's what people want. They want the food, the smell, the wine,
experience.
The locals, people being friendly. And so actually the Sagra is the quintessential example of Italian hospitality, food and drink, is it not?
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you, Wayne.
I would, yeah. We could talk about that maybe at another.
We'll discuss it later.
Yeah, you and me over a glass of
Schioppettino.
Schioppettino. Anyway, so if there are no more questions from the audience, if anybody here does not want to come, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've just gone over just about an hour. So thank you, Lorena, for coming over here. Thank you, Beatrice.
Thank you, ladies.
For participating and bringing us this beautiful wine. continued success in the world market in the United States and here.
I keep drinking old vintage Schioppettino.
There you go. That's what we're
drinking.
Keep drinking
Be careful
old
with that.
Schioppettino.
And I'd like to say, seriously, Paul, if you're still out there, if you are coming to Friuli, send a message, either contact me or Wayne, and it will be lovely to meet you out here and show you a couple of things.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks
Thank you so
everybody
much.
for coming. I want to thank Heather and Sheila and Lotta and Paul for coming up on stage. Sue, my
Thank
favorite
you.
ex-wife,
Ciao,
Vanessa, is
grazie.
here listening. Christopher, Christine, Annie, Rosella, some other people have come and gone. Really, really appreciate you all coming out tonight. Great turnout here on Clubhouse for the ladies. And thank you very much, Lorena and Beatrice Petrussa, for being here tonight.
Grazie,
All right.
Petrussa.
Thank
a
you
voi.
very much.
Thank you.
Ciao tutti.
Ciao,
Bye-bye.
grazie. Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey, I want to thank everybody this evening for coming. Thank you for listening. I appreciate Natalie Benlolo, our co-host, Rob Milani, our sound guy. Follow me on La Taverna Friuli on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram at Wayne Grape. And you can find this awesome music on YouTube at Beat Ambassador. Finishes with an A.